Ladies and gentlemen, sit back, put your feet up. It's time for the Other Three Amigos podcast with Declan McCormack, Wayne Mullins, and Dan.
Three lads, one podcast.
On this week's episode of the Other Three Amigos podcast, forget about jacking off. There's a bulge on for Bolger. Jaden Uma to Benfica. The women's team finally win a league game. We go studying the students and is there potential for Shamazel at Shams. All this and more on this week's episode of the Other Three Amigos podcast. And welcome to the Other Three Amigos podcast, season 3, episode 58, episode 167 in total. We are your award-winning podcast in 2022. And a reminder, we are on Patreon, patreon.com/ToeTap. Be sure to retweet the pod as it's so important to help us grow, and give us a follow on the old IG as well at the Other Three Amigos podcast. I would like to say hello to my other two amigos. Decky, how are you, sir?
Hey, Danny boy, how's things?
That is not the one. That is not the one.
Is that not the one? Okay.
I don't
next
think
week with another one. So
yeah, we'll keep going. We'll keep going until we find the perfect pairing. Wayne. Oh, well, actually, Decky's coming back with
Hey, Danny, how are we?
Decky's coming back with a bombshell first later, so be sure to stick around from that. And Wayne, you had a bombshell of your own first, but you put it off.
I did. I had to because it was 5 minutes before kickoff, and I couldn't drop it.
The bat in or out of the cave?
The what?
Is the bat in or out of the cave?
I have no idea what that means.
You touching cloth?
No. Oh, no, I'm okay now.
Okay, perfect. We're going to kick things off with Young Hearts Go Free.
It's not working,
I think we're in it. Oh, Young Hearts.
Decky boy, did you?
Oh,
Go
okay,
Free.
I'm sorry. Oh.
Decky did the club roundup this week. Under 19s, no game. Under 17s, no game. Under 15s, beaten by Shams. Under 14s, beat UCD 3-0. Thank you, Decky. But big news was Jaden Uma is apparently going to Benfica. That's what do you make of that?
I'm totally shocked by this news.
Did we
it's
not?
the first I've heard of it.
Yeah. Did we not say this 6 months ago when we were over in Portugal for the Sporting Lisbon? Not when we were in Portugal, but when the club's youth teams were in Portugal for the Benfica and Sporting Lisbon. I can't remember if we mentioned his name or not. I don't know, but it's like, yeah, it's not a shock, but it's, look, fair play to him.
He scored a goal against Armenia during the week.
Potential. Yeah, there's a lot, like, that could be a very good deal for City long term. Now, there's lots of, what's the word I'm looking for? There's lots of things he has to hit. But if he ever ended up playing first team games for them, then we do quite well out of that deal by all accounts, So can't complain.
Well, hopefully he will do well for his brother as well. His brother also scored 2 against Scotland during the week. So fair play to them. Women's senior team beat Treaty 1-0. Is this the first league match they've won all season, or am I misinformed, Decky?
2 seconds now.
Some sort of hallelujah music.
This piece of shit, like.
Words are very.
Sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows. Everything that's wonderful is what I feel when we're together. Brighter than a lucky penny when you're near the rain.
Question,
Yeah,
what was the
Dan,
last
you
song you
were
played
informed
there?
correctly.
Can we go over that again, what the other song you played?
Dust disappears, dear,
No, not that
and
one.
I have
feel so
no-
fine. Just
It was
to
the
know
one he played.
that you are mine.
It's doing its own thing now. Will you stop? It's doing its own thing now.
We need to tune him back, don't we?
Oh,
What was the other song?
Fucking
You obviously have another
mix 'em
song
up
there.
like this.
What is that?
I don't know what it was, to be honest with you. It's
Decky's greatest
it was
hits.
something for Last Damus. Actually, no, it was the week before Last Damus, wasn't it?
But the song's in
Enjoy
front
the
of you. You should be able to
silence.
see it in front of you.
Enjoy the, yeah, but it says ETA. This one. I used this. It was Enjoy the Silence.
Words are very unnecessary. They can only do harm.
Like that was a rocking tune. Like that's a rocking tune. But anyway, it has no business on this episode.
Who sings that?
The other Three Amigos podcast.
It's not a Rager, is it?
That was Depeche Mode.
What
That was Depeche Mode. Depeche Mode.
Quality song.
Yeah, great video as well. Remember, they were high up in the mountains. Your mum was sitting on a deck chair wearing a king's robe, and anyway,
And this is the thing I noticed.
reminiscing.
Like Dan's too young for this. Like, but back in like the 80s, 90s, you'd some really top-notch videos for songs. And now it's a case of some don't even have songs; they just have the album cover on MTV. It's a shame, like, because back in the day, you'd always the most important part was the video, the song. You know, now it's just nothing. Actually, I'm going to check here on myself. I'm going to put it on check and see what.
You're beginning to sound like Grandpa Simpson now, like
It's true though, like, because you put it on MTV, like, we might got 3 or 4 music channels now, and you put it on, it's like, it's crap. Sure, Dan hasn't a clue what we're talking about.
No, I didn't do that. Like, that did its own thing. No, I did not do that. It did it.
You have to press pause.
Oh, that could be hilarious.
Yes. Thanks for that, Wayne. I do understand, pause and stop and play in those buttons, But yeah, sorry, Dan, back to your very in-depth question. Yes, it was the first league victory of the season for our senior ladies team. Fully deserved too.
Any win bonuses?
Who got the goal?
Heidi O'Sullivan with the winner after 4 minutes. And all was good after that. Saw it out well, weren't really bothered. Home again to Athlone next Saturday, 3 o'clock, Turner's Cross.
Why is it 3 o'clock?
People should get down there. That I don't know, to be honest with you. That I do not know. It's normally 5:30 in Turner's Cross.
Is it definitely Turner's Cross, is it?
It is. Like, obviously, there's a weather warning in place, like, so every I mean,
Do you think
who knows
it's 3
what the
o'clock to move
MFA
to
will
Bishopstown, do you
decide.
think, maybe, no?
No, I don't. I don't know. Look, I mean, as we sit here on Tuesday night at whatever time it is.
I'm just wondering, is there any other fixtures on the same day in
19:36?
Bishopstown?
No, there isn't.
Oh.
No,
Okay.
not that I'm aware of, anyway.
Right, let's drive it on. Sunshine, lollipop.
Connie Watch with Ivan Draco on the other Three Amigos podcast.
We revealed
Connie Watch with Ivan Draco on the other Three Amigos podcast. Connie Watch with Ivan Draco on the other Three Amigos.
I have no idea what it's doing. It just has a mind of its own.
we revealed
Hopefully it's stopped now this time.
we revealed speculation that Liam Buckley is on gardening leave.
No. We didn't. No, we didn't. No, we didn't. We didn't. We did not say that. How very dare you? It was Ray Armitage. Nothing to do with Toe Tap whatsoever, Dan.
I
to
think
clarify that.
I think Mecklin McMormick looks a bit offended.
No. I mean, obviously, I did the doc. The reason I put we is because, like, Raymond is part of the Toe Tap team, and he does have an office in Toe Tap Towers.
Legally,
when he's not in Milan, when he's not in Milan and that, like, he just has a little spot.
It's a bit
do
like
a bit of work.
the FAI and the PFAI sharing offices with nothing alike. There's nothing to do. He just
exactly
under the door. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. He helps pay the rent. He pays for his desk in the in Toe Tap Towers. That helps us pay the rent there, So that's maybe I probably used the wrong phraseology by saying we, but I just had him as part of the overall team, the extended team, should we say?
How did it come to light that you found out Liam Buckley was doing the gardening?
I don't know, to be honest with you. Raymond got in touch with us and just said, Allegedly, and then you start looking back and you realise he wasn't at either the Pats games, the league game or the cup game, and it kind of makes a little bit of sense. But look, it's only speculation, and we're only football fans, and football fans speculate all the time. So
that's it.
There's nothing There's nothing any club can do to stop speculation. And
Good angle, Decky.
if it turns out that he's not on gardening leave and he's still operating as the club sporting director from Dublin, because people have said he hasn't been around Bishopstown either since departing as manager. So look, I mean, there's lots of circumstantial evidence there that if you put it all together says he's not around. But look, he could be working from home, and who knows? But it's only speculation, and football fans speculation, and that's the football world,
A lot of disappointed black hat salesmen around Cork right now. The FAI sanction for the bottle throwing versus Pats in the Cup semi-final. 3 blocks are now gone for the game against Shamrock on Monday. Wayne, your overall thoughts on this one?
That's where I stand. It's kind of annoying, but I think it's quite dangerous because you could say the loudest area of the ground. You have the kind of the shed singing. You have the older fogies from yesteryear who are still singing, but kind of too grumpy to join in on the young songs. And you've got the corner boys, and they're all moving to the St. Anne's end, which is very close to Shamrock Rovers fans. So it's going to be an absolute nightmare. But then again, last minute might change to go in front of Stoney Ford. So I just think that they haven't thought this through correctly. And I also believe, this is again speculation on my part, I don't believe we'd have challenged it, which is, again, ridiculous. We're the nice guys of football now. We don't challenge, we don't upset the apple cart, as they say. And I think that by doing this, we're kind of bending over for the FAI and taking it. Like, I know what happened shouldn't have happened, but I still think that we should fight it. Because Rovers allegedly fired flares onto the pitch, nearly hit one of the players. And they got a stadium ban, and they fought it, and they won. So why aren't we fighting this?
It wasn't even fair. It was a full-on fireworks.
Yeah.
I'd be stunned if we haven't appealed it. I'd be stunned if we didn't.
You know the way, right? That sometimes Ray hears stories in the club when they want to clarify things. Sometimes. Yeah. Also, sometimes other fans get stories in the club too, just to kind of make the fan base calm down and be happy. Nothing has come out.
Right.
And that's why I'm in a firm belief, supporting this club 31 years, that by now we would have heard, the same way we shockingly heard last week, after 4 days, the news of the section in Stoney Ford. Surely 5 days after this incident, we would have found out too. And we haven't. So that makes me believe that we haven't challenged it. And you never know, by tomorrow there could be a release saying we have challenged it, but right now it's my speculative belief that we haven't.
Yeah, and look, you're only speculating, so
that's all I'm doing. Speculating.
Fair enough.
That's why my speculation
Oh yeah, okay, cool. We might all get them. 3 pairs of speculation specs, please. I just look at it and think, like, it's hard to argue. There was bottles thrown. We know the FAI are starting to come down harder on things. It's hard to argue, but I look at it and there's a couple of things jump out. I kind of believe that the FAI's intention was to close the ground, and somebody then said, hang on now, lads, you realise this is the game in which Shamrock Rovers might win the league, probably win the league. Do you really want to play that in front of the RT cameras in a closed ground because of crowd disturbances or whatever phrase you want to use? And they came up with this convoluted, let's close 3 blocks nonsense. And then you look around, Wayne's already mentioned Shamrock Rovers. That was in Waterford 2 years ago. I think things have moved on since then. But even the Cup weekend, which we are getting the penalty from that Cup weekend, in the same game, St. Pat's supporters fired numerous flares onto the pitch after their goals. The game was delayed. The restart was delayed to allow those flares to be cleared off the pitch. No sanction. Bows fans in Galway were on the pitch after the first goal. They were also on the pitch at full time. No sanction. So from what I can see, throwing bottles gets you sanctioned. Throwing flares is no sanction. And fans on the pitch is no sanction. So this now is where the lines have been drawn by the FAI that I can see. So we know against Shamrock Rovers next Monday night, if we throw more bottles as a fan base, not us personally, as a fan base, if we throw more bottles, we will incur further penalty. But if we throw flares on the pitch, there will be no penalty. And if fans enter the pitch playing area, there should be no penalty either, because this is sanctioned.
It's the FA battle lines have been drawn, so really, haven't they?
Yeah, and that's what I see. And Drogheda were sanctioned. Drogheda fans were sanctioned for their carry on in Dundalk, and they were told they couldn't go to the away game, which is this Friday night against Shamrock Rovers. What kind of nonsense is that? Have you ever heard a fan base where the punishment is you can't go to an away game? Sure, for like Drogheda, they all sound like dubs anyway. Just walk up to them, buy a home ticket and go into. Nobody's going to stop you.
Do you
Like
reckon
Shamrock
it's a
Rovers
Dublin
are
thing?
losing out here. Yeah, well, that's like Shamrock Rovers are losing out here because Drogheda have been punished. Like, there isn't an FA in Europe or the world who would say to Drogheda, oh, you can't go to, like, always the sanctions are at a home game for obvious reasons. This time they've sanctioned, so they've actually sanctioned Shamrock Rovers more than they've sanctioned Drogheda. But look who has been sanctioned. Drogheda and Cork City. Look who haven't been sanctioned. Shamrock Rovers for the carry-on in Waterford, where it went from a full stadium closure to a €5,000 fine. Pats for the carry-on for the Flares in Cork. Bows for the fans on the pitch in Galway. What do Shamrock Rovers, Bows and Pats have in common? And what do Cork City and Drogheda have in common? Right? No. You know? There's 3 Dublin clubs, obviously, and 2 clubs outside Dublin. I don't for a second buy into the whole tinfoil hat stuff of it's Dublin clubs and not Dublin. I don't buy into that. But the FAI leave themselves open to it when this is how they conducted things. I have no idea how Bows are not sanctioned for their fans on the pitch in Galway. Makes no sense.
Disgraceful.
Makes no sense.
That
That's far more dangerous. Far more dangerous. Yeah, far more dangerous than bottles being thrown on the pitch. And I'm not defending the bottles on the pitch. As I said, I can understand the sanction. I can accept it. Take it on the chin. But let's be fair to everybody. Let's treat every club the same.
Do you think the security risk has gone up substantially, especially on the back of events that happened last time Rovers were down in Turner's Cross?
I actually think it's a game that you could see a very, very, very small home attendance at.
Yeah.
Firstly, it's 7:30 on a Monday night, which is, far from ideal. With people finishing work at 6, 6:30, whatever it might be. You have a game where we'll know more after Friday night, but it's possible that Shamrock Rovers win the league in Turner's Cross. A lot of City fans are going to go, I know, I'm going home and I'm having me dinner. And I don't give a toss. Leave Shamrock Rovers win the league in Turner's Cross. I'm not going out there to watch them do that. Our whole season now is about the playoff game. So I understand fully what Wayne's saying about sections moving, and I understand people saying that. I don't know how many tickets Shamrock Rovers have been given for the game, which is another consideration. There's also the fact that Shamrock Rovers may not win the game, or may not win the game. Hopefully they won't win the game, but they also may not win the league in Turner's Cross, no matter how many games they win between now and then. Because if St. Pat's beat Bows on Friday night and then beat Sligo on Monday night the same time we're playing, Shamrock Rovers can't win the league in Turner's Cross. They can be 6 points ahead with 2 games to play, and they can have a much better goal difference than St. Pat's. But mathematically, they still cannot win the league if Pats win those 2 games. So Pats Bows Friday night becomes a big game as well for us. But look, I don't think there's added security risks, to be honest. I don't see it. No.
Okay. Well, I know what happened from our point of view, but allegedly there was Shamrock Rovers fans pushing young fellas, taking hats and scarves off them as well after the game. Like, if that's in the St. Anne's End, or the fans are a lot closer.
Either way, they've made things a lot harder for themselves by doing this. But that's on them. They're not stupid. you're not going to get the hardcore support spreading out around the place. No, they're all going to go to the same place. And you're not going to go from this family section. You're probably not going to go to the Dernan end, so you're going to go to St. Anne's. Either way, let's see what happens.
It's true.
Yeah.
Like one thing that could happen.
All it takes is one idiot from each side. It's all it takes. One idiot from each side to throw something. And we both have a history of throwing stuff. So who's to say someone doesn't light a flare and throw it across the stand? You know, they didn't think of that, did they?
Somebody said last week, I know it was on the forum or was it in a WhatsApp or something like that. If people didn't sit in the Derrynan, if people didn't sit on the Derrynan side of the ground, because that's the side that the RTE cameras would face for the whole of the game. So if there's nobody sitting in the Derrynan and then you turn around and there's nobody in the first two sections of the shed behind the goal, 90% of the footage on RTE's cameras and 90% of the live footage during the game is just going to have no fans present in the shots, which was an interesting concept, I thought.
Again, we're going to get the blame for this, for saying it and tipping people off. Rather than kind of them taking the blame for like, oh, we never thought of that. Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah,
the usual suspects.
Would you just give them the whole St. Anne's in, really?
I just thought that was an interesting concept.
They'll probably bring enough down.
But then where do City fans go? Derrynan, and we're looking up at Shamrock Rovers fans? Do you want to be looking up at them? No.
Probably won't be enough people there from a City point of view, as he said anyway. How many do you reckon we'll get? Figure wise.
1,500 City fans.
The hardcore.
Yeah, I'd say about the same.
Yeah. Like even the way we're talking, there's no what's the word? Buzz supporting this club anymore. It's been gone for the year. Like there's like even in your times of need and shit football, City have always been. There's been a buzz. There's been a bit of crack. There's nothing there anymore. It's just this new regime has ruined it for everybody. You know, it's like going to a bloody rugby match. Like boring. Do you know? But it's true though. Like the buzz is gone. The crack is gone. There's someone there message in on the mailbag saying, "Does anyone actually give a shit anymore?" I don't even like. If we go down, will people really give a shit? I can see people just not giving a shit anymore. But look, we're negative. So be it.
I agree with you, but I think Richie and the team will save our season and we will stay up. I do believe.
I will see. Anyway,
I also believe you're going to win the cup. But anyway, car on the pitch, but women not allowed. Decky, do you want to pick this one up?
Not really. I mean, it was just some tweet we put up, but we got a reply to it. Like, somebody sent us a DM in response to that tweet, quoted that tweet, and said the car isn't actually on the playing area of the pitch. The corner flag quadrant can be seen through Barry Coffey's legs. Thanks for that. Cheers.
What nerd sent that in?
What? I missed this. Let me look. What's this?
Wayne's going to tell him to
I won't
piss
call
off.
it. No. It's a DM. It's a DM. It's not out. It's a DM. So, but it's just like, you know, I don't like sending it back, but like it's just the old shrug the shoulders gif, like, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
so what? Like, it was just a tweet that went out late on a Friday night. Like, who cares? Like, you know, move on, right? Move on.
Why can't I see this?
Oh no! Well, it was probably deleted for.
What date was it?
No, it's Saturday.
What day? Like how many? Like you look at direct DMs, but how many days ago? That's 3 days ago.
It's the third DM sitting in the thing.
All right. It is. It's at the... off.
That's why it would have been deleted. Richmond Park speculation as playoff game venue was rife, but we emailed the FAI, Decky emailed the FAI presumably, and they said no, the venue will only be decided when we know who is involved in the game. Do we believe them, folks? Decky, you sent the email, I'm presuming. We'll go to you first.
I think you have to believe them. Like, I mean, like, do you know, like, I mean, I don't think they're deliberate. Like, maybe I'm naive, but like,
I don't believe them. Surprise.
Like, to be fair, like, it was all over the place. No, it wasn't all over the place on Saturday. One of the Toe Tap members who's no longer with us, was very adamant that he had it on great authority that that the game had been set for Richmond Park already, and that story was strong. And I said, look, I'll just email the FAI. And it was Sunday morning. I emailed them, and I was like, look, we might get an answer by Tuesday night. That was my hope. And to be fair, an hour later, Sunday afternoon, they were back to me saying, no, the venue is not going to be decided until such time as the two teams involved are known. The only thing about that is that only gives them a week to sort the venue. So I do wonder if there is enough time in that in terms of security arrangements, stewarding, Gardaí, all that kind of stuff that has to be sorted out. Is a week enough time that's the only thing that makes me go, I wonder. But look, that's the FAI line at the moment, and I think to be fair to them, we have to take them at their word.
Is the disappointment of the FAI Cup over for you? Because today I started thinking, you know what, it's probably best we're out of it just so we can focus on this playoff. Wayne?
You know my views on the cup. It doesn't matter to me.
Dickie?
I was over it half an hour after the game finished, to be honest with you. It was, it would have been great. No, but it would have been great to be in a cup final, but it goes like, we had said it was a 3-game season. The minute we're knocked out of the cup, it became a 1-game season. And it is a 1-game season. And the only game that matters between now and the end of the season is the playoff final. If we're in it, I mean, technically, we can still catch Sligo Rovers, but I won't even go into that because...
Anything positive this week, lads?
ourselves cocoa.
Yes, Wayne. We have positive stuff here now.
Well, there won't...
I'll wait.
I do have some positive news this week, Wayne. UCC scholarships have been given out. Young people getting an education. They've been 9
that's good.
so far in total given out. Oren Crow's doing commerce, Zach Dunn commerce, Colin Henderson arts, Josh Hornahan commerce, Kelly Leahy commerce, Alex Mendez arts, Laura Shine law, and Hannah Walsh children and general nurse.
But yeah, fair play to them. Like, Jesus, if they can get it done, get it done. Or I assume they're tied down for contract-wise, so are they?
That probably
you'd
mean
imagine.
So.
I mean, that's one thing you could take out of it. All right, anyways, that obviously Josh will be here next season, and all the other players. Look, it's a fantastic tie-up. To be fair to UCC, I mean that's 9. I don't know, is that all of them, or is there more to come? Further ones to be announced, etc. I genuinely don't know. But look, it's a great tie-up for the club, and
Do we get another 9 so next year, or is it 9 every 4 year, every term finishes? So could we have like...
My understanding is that they're yearly scholarships.
So like second year could be taken away kind of
year
thing.
by year.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. That's my understanding anyway.
It's good to know.
Dan McDonald revealed in his Friday newsletter that Cove are to receive investment from an American group. Decky, you have more news on this.
I'm very interested in what Dickie says here.
Yeah, look, I mean, this American group, I'm trying to think. I heard about, like, if you go, you heard about it, and he said nothing. It was about 6 weeks ago at this Cork City Shamrock Rovers women's game in Turner's Cross. It was the first time I heard about this, but there was no story to tell, because what I was told was that there had been an American group in Cork. They have 3 or 4 clubs / academies in the States, very wealthy group. And they had contacted the FAI looking for some reason to invest in Irish football. FAI had set up meetings for them. I don't know how many clubs they met. And that they had met Cove Ramblers and they had met Cork City. So, obviously, there's no story there. I mean, because, like, to be fair, and I'll say this openly, every League of Ireland club is open for investment. Or, and if they tell you they're not, they're telling you lies, And we can see it's happening a bit. Obviously, we had the treaty stuff this week. Treaty, Limerick, whatever they're going to call themselves now going forward. You have this American investment now in Cove. So I think all clubs in this country are open for investment. But I think it becomes a story when Dan drops it in his newsletter on Friday afternoon, Friday lunchtime, saying that the Americans are investing in Cove. Because as I said, they were in Cove. They went for dinner with the Cove board of directors, is my understanding. Everybody got on famously, got on like a house on fire. They stayed overnight. And then the following day, they had lunch with Cork City. And I think then it becomes a story now because they're investing in Cove and they're not investing in Cork City. So is it a story? I don't know. Is it something people need to get their knickers in a twist about? Absolutely not under any circumstances. I don't think. But it's just interesting, as I said. Interesting. But there definitely does seem to have been, without doubt, a meeting with Cork City. I don't know who was there. I know there was one. I know of one person who was definitely there. I don't know whether there was more than one person there or not. But obviously they've gone with the Cove option. So, que sera, sera.
Should we be insulted? Not that they didn't choose us, but like
What do you mean? What do you mean insulted by who? Whom?
I guess our own club. Like, what did we do wrong that they don't want to invest in us? Insulted is probably the wrong word now. It definitely is.
I think it says it all, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be insulted. As I said, I mean, we've no idea what went on at those meetings, whether we just met them out of common courtesy or whether we, as I said, I believe all clubs are open for investments.
Do we know who they are?
If investment came our way, I was given the name of the group, all right, but I don't. I think Dan probably had the name of the group as well. But as I said, they are impressively wealthy. They said they're tied up with 3 or 4 clubs in the States.
The thing is, you said
academies,
investment,
etc.
not takeover, which suggests that they're just gonna not take a minority stake. But yeah, that's interesting. It's something I would have thought that most clubs would be jumping at. I think, I don't know.
Yeah. But look again. No, I'm speculating on news that I heard.
I see you've got your speculation specs on. Yeah.
Yes. I just put them on before Dan asked me the question. I might take them off again shortly. But look, as I said, I it's up to everybody to interpret, or take their own view on it. My own personal view is we had a meeting. They've gone with Cove. Que sera, sera, and fair play to Cove. More power to them.
Why would they be sexier than us
Let's see
as
what
an
happens
investment opportunity?
I don't know. Genuinely, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what was discussed at the meetings. I don't know what, Cove are very, very much community. And there's a huge emphasis down there on community and all those kind of things. People talk about Cork City being a community club. I've said this and I'll get slaughtered for it again. I don't see us as a community club at all.
We're not.
I don't think we've any roots in the community in any way, shape, or form.
Let me just. I'm going to jump in. I do think some great work is being done.
Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying, like, obviously we do good work in the community on that, but like, how do you put it?
It's not level. It's not the level it used to be, and what it should be. I don't think.
Yeah, and Cork is a city of 300,000 people, but we get 3,000 into Turner's Cross. Cove is a very distinct area, very distinct community, and it is. I think there's more. I don't know how to explain it, but like I'm not saying we're not like. I don't think we have the roots in the community. We don't have the roots in the community in Cork that Cove have in their community in Cove. Is what I would say.
So then
you're right. Yeah. I think you're bang on with that.
Fair enough. Moving on to Friday, the 20th of October, Cork City versus UCD in the bowl, not the Sunnest one. The UCD. Oh, sorry, you already beat me to the punchline. Whoever, Dekey. Who starts? Who's dropped? Is it the same team as? Is it the same team as last time? What are we thinking for this one? Wayne.
I'd be going. I'd actually would probably go 4-3-3. I know I'm into the 4-4-2, get the ball in the box, but I think I'm not sure if Murphy's fit enough. He's not, I'd be going 4-2-3. I'd play defensive midfielder, regular number 8, and attacking midfielder behind Keating, 2 wingers and 4 at the back. I would take a glorious 1-0 victory. I really would. I think we need to keep it tight at the back, and if we go 1-up, take control of the game. I don't want to see any of this 3-2, 4-3, 4-4 results. I don't want to see it. I want to see a defensive masterclass and a good attacking play, and I'll take a boring, dull 1-0 victory all day long. It's what we need. We need stability now. We need stability, confidence, and a structure in place. Now, he went 4-4-2 with the last game. I'm guessing he'll probably go again, which is fine. Look, you got to believe in the manager's philosophy. The problem was before there was mixed signals. Players were getting one bit of information from one coach and different from another coach, and it was just a shit show. Now we've got Richie in place. He's the man. Dan Murray's there. John O'Flynn's there. Structure. Play. They can see in training who's fit, who's in form, who's better, and just go with it. I wouldn't be doing this. Oh, this guy has to play because he played well last week. You got to go on the last 2 weeks. That's my opinion on it.
Just on Cian Murphy, do you mean fit as in match sharpness fit, or fit as in actual
sharpness? Yeah, sharpness. I keep saying fit. I mean match sharpness. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a massive difference in it. There's a massive difference, and a player can't be match sharp after one game. No player can do that. Not even Ronaldo or Messi could do that.
Is this not the game to get a match sharp in though? UCD.
I think again, it's my line every week. It's too late in the season to be trying to get people up to speed. You go with what you have and you just put a structure in place, and you just try and hope it works. And clear communication is what's needed, because it wasn't there. Now we have one man in charge. He's fully backed by the Cork public, the Cork fans. Just do it. Win the game.
Jackie, anything you want to pick up on there?
Yeah, I'm never in a million years changing the formation. Never in a million years. We've 4 games left. There needs to be, as Wayne said, there needs to be a structure in place. And whatever we're using, and that's it. And if it's 4-4-2 and they've used 4-4-2 the last 2 games, then you need to stick with 4-4-2 between here and the end of the season. Leave the players get used to it. It's a 1-game season now, and that's the playoff final. Yeah. And you have to go into that game with a plan in place and a method of playing and all those things that the players know exactly what they're doing, what's expected of them, etc. So chopping and changing formations and that is not something I'd want to see. And I think it's only been 2 games, both against St. Pat's. I think Richie has nailed his master to 4-4-2. If that's the way he's going to keep going, then I think that's fair enough. But you can't be chopping and changing. There's 4 league games left, and then there's a playoff final. Those 4 games have to, in my opinion, be used. So if you're changing the formation and say you do go back to a 4-3-3 for UCD on Friday night, then it has to be 4-4. It has to be 4-3-3 for the rest of the season. I don't particularly care what formation they play or who plays. Just what I want to see is who plays next week and plays the week after. You have players coming back who need minutes. Kevin Kostovic has to come back into that side between now and the end of the season. There was talk, I believe, he'll be back for UCD. You're probably not going to risk starting him straight off the bat, but he can certainly get 20 minutes against UCD towards the end of the game, maybe a half, 45 minutes against Shamrock Rovers on Monday night. And then the last 2 games, in my head, he needs to play and start those games at right back. And we go from there. And to me, then the team picks itself more or less, Is there a question or is there a thought process that if Tiernan Brooks is back, that you start Tiernan Brooks against UCD on Friday night purely to have a look at him in a competitive game? We only saw him, basically, was it 52 minutes? He went off injured against St. Pat's. We only saw him for that length of time. So
Derry, wasn't it?
Pat's.
Oh,
No,
it was
Pat's.
Pat's. Definitely the away game of Pat's. Yeah. So is there, as I said, is there a thought process there that you actually give him 90 minutes and see? I presume they know from training who's the better keeper between himself and Ollie Byrne, and I presume they know which one they want to play. But whichever one of them you want to play, you play Friday night and you play for the rest of the season. Is my opinion on.
Is there a thought process around him having to play if it's in a contract? I wonder. if he's fit.
I have no idea. I'd be stunned if there was anything like that in the contracts. Like, no, I would hope not. I'd put it that way. I would hope not. Managers should always have freedom of choice over this team selection that he's making, and nah, I don't. I wouldn't buy that. I wouldn't buy that at all, personally.
Okay, what is the team? O'Donovan left, Hakkinen, Coleman, Honohan, midfield.
Yeah.
Bolger, Warman. I'm probably putting in Dykesteel in there.
It's Kravchuk or Brian Whitmarsh, really, isn't it?
I'm probably taking O'Brien Whitmarsh then, and then Keaton Murphy up top.
And who you playing wide, Dan?
Dykesteel and Bargary.
No chance. I'm not putting Dykesteel near the pitch, to be honest with you, but that's only my opinion.
If you're playing 4-4-2,
I'm
you need
running
wingers.
out.
Like, you don't.
Yeah.
Like Warman isn't a winger. Like.
Bargary and Warman, but then, okay, but then you're dropping Ben Warman, like.
I'd be dropping Bolger and putting Warman in.
No
Jesus.
chance. Stop. No.
In a two-man midfield.
Can't say no often enough. Bolger was the best player on the pitch in the cup semi-final against Pats.
He was, but that was a bit of an
Drop him for
anomaly. It would be hard to drop him for that, but it's been few and far between performances.
No. You're wrong, but anyway, Bolger's been one of our most consistent performers. That's not saying much all year, but
What's your opinion,
the
though,
numbers
like?
show that. No, it's not. The numbers back it up.
What numbers?
Numbers back it up.
What numbers?
Average points per game when players start and things like that.
Where are you getting this from?
It's my own stuff. I don't have it to hand now, like, but I'll bring it next week. No problem whatsoever.
True. You don't
Yes,
think that bit of a headless chicken in midfield, no?
No.
So you think that you should play defensive midfielder? Who
In
you put
comparison to
centre
what else could be
No,
in there.
Who you put in centre midfield? So because he's a defensive midfielder, right? So you're putting one man in the
Kravchuk.
centre midfield.
Kravchuk.
So you're putting Kravchuk
You're not. You're
on his
putting
own in the
two.
middle.
You have two.
But Bolger's defensive
he's not
midfield. He's
in
a
his
holding
own.
midfield. He's a
Bolger's with
holding
him.
midfielder. Like
He's still a midfielder. He's still in the centre of the pitch.
I don't
He's
think,
not-
but
like,
he
you can't
plays
say he's on
between the
his own.
midfield and defence. He doesn't play in the centre. Like that's the point I'm making. Like I'm not saying he shouldn't play at all. I'm saying if playing 4-4-2, I don't think he can play in a 4-3-3. Absolutely.
Okay,
He's a holding
but
man behind the defence.
If you play
Right for
4-4, okay, but so if you play 4-4-2 with no holding midfielder, you've no presence between central midfield and the centre backs, and
That's why you're playing
players go
4-4-2,
into that
Decky, like.
space and they run riot, They run absolute riot.
But they'll run riot if you've got a holding midfielder and one man in the centre by himself. They don't have to have a man back then.
But sure,
If you're playing against 4-3-3, they don't have to have
no. But if you're playing 4-3-3, your 4-3-3
if they're playing
is
4-3-3, I'm
like
saying.
obviously UCD will play 5-4-1. That's what UCD will play.
Are we talking about UCD or are we talking about
Or
planning
some
for the fucking end of the
variation,
game?
I said.
Are we talking about planning for the playoff, is what I'm trying to say. If we play
Lads,
4-4-2,
okay.
you can bring your stats in. The point I'm making is if we play 4-3-3, he guarantees the start, right? If we play 4-4-2, I'm not sure he's a guaranteed. That's the point I'm making.
Well,
Mormon is not a
I don't
winger.
know what to
He
say
should be in
to
the
you,
centre or he
because-
can't play. That's all I'm just making my point. Like, and you're telling me, no, you're wrong. Like, it's bullshit the way you're saying it. Like, I'm just making my point of view, which I'm entitled to. And I think if you're playing 4, I'm not saying you're
Absolutely,
wrong.
of course you
I'm
are.
just saying that I think this is the way it should be done. I don't think Bolger plays in a 4-4-2. That's what I'm saying.
He played in the 4-4-2 against Pats. He was the man of the match. He played
Jesus
4-4-2
Christ.
in the league game against Pats. He was the best Cork City player on the pitch. That's twice. Like the proof is there. That's the thing. The proof is there. But like it is there. Who are you playing in a 2 in the centre midfield?
I would play O'Brien Whitmarsh and I'd play Warman because Warman can't play out wide.
Okay, and who wins the ball in the centre of the park? Who makes a tackle? Who gets us possession back?
Warman and O'Brien Whitmarsh can do it. Both can do it. He can play 6, 8 and a 10.
They don't. They can't.
Well, of course they can.
That's not their game. Neither of them can do it.
Joe
They
can do a
can't.
6, 8. Of
That's
course
not
he
their
can.
game. Neither of them can do it. No, he can't.
All
But
right.
Chad Scotty, he can't. Like, that's not their game. Different players have different parts of their game that you try and
There's no
piece
point in-
together.
there's no
we
point
need
in
a
co-
ball
if you-
winner in there. We need
Here,
it.
this isn't a discussion.
Okay,
Just shutting
okay,
me down
there's
in every opportunity. There's not even a discussion. Like you're just saying, no, you're wrong. That's fine. If you think I'm wrong, it's fine. Stop having a discussion with someone who's just shutting me down on every point I'm making. So move on.
I'm putting counterpoints to you. I'm saying Joe
No,
O'Brien
you're
Whitmarsh
saying I'm
has
wrong.
no history
You're saying I'm wrong.
as a ball winner in the middle of the park. Yeah, as a ball winner in the middle of the park. Neither does Ben Warman. You have to have a ball winner in there.
What do you want me to say here? Like, I've already made my points. Yeah, you're right, Decky. Fair play.
Right.
You're right.
Okay. All right. No bother.
Right. Prediction time. Wayne, what do you think this one's going to be?
We lose 4-0 because you're no ball winner. There we go.
Decky, what do you think?
Doesn't really... Well, look, I mean, once the attitude is right, obviously it's a game we should win. But UCD lost 2-1 to Bows the other night. They had a lot of young fellas out in the pitch. They're kind of in a mood now where they're relegated and they really don't give a shit. So, like, we can't go up there with this cock-a-hoop, which we probably... And they have beaten us up there already. So, look, I'm hoping we win 2-0. I can see how we win 2-0, but our heads and attitude...
I changed my view. I'm going to put
on.
Warman and Kravchuk in the middle. Is that happy? You happy with that? No?
I can't say anything because I don't want to shut you down or tell you you're wrong or any of those things. So I'll... That concludes the end of part one, Toe Tapper. Come back to us in part two, where we will have a huge fight between Wayne Mullins and Declan McCormack. Forget about the security risk of City versus Shams on Monday. It's going to kick off in the morning forward.
Oh, it's been a while since we had a disagreement.
It has. Come back to us in part two, Toe Tapper.
Hey Toe Tappers, become an elite supporter of your favourite podcast by signing up to our Patreon. For as little as €2 a month, you can help us to continue to bring you all your favourite Cork City FC news and fun. Imagine life without Liam Bosson. Imagine not hearing Commie Watch. Well, it's time to stop being a tight arse and sign up to one of our 5 tiers. Each tier has different perks for you. Click the link on toetap.ie or head to patreon.com/toetap. We're broke and poor and need your hard-earned cash.
Welcome back to part two, Monday, the 23rd of October, City versus the Shams in TX. 7:30 kickoff time, live on RT, whose panel will include any injured Rovers player they can find, any former Rovers player they can find, written in twice actually, and Hooperman, I presume, to give some current insight. Well, what do we think of this one? Like, are we going full steam ahead in UCD and full steam ahead here, like, for the playoff? What are we thinking? Wayne?
You'd go 4-4-2 and put Bolger and Kravchuk in midfield, I'd say. Try and win the game. Take it to them.
Decky, what do you think?
I'd go 4-3-3 and
You can't change
Kravchuk,
formations.
Warman and O'Brien Whitmarsh as those three. I'd give Aaron the week off. I'd tell him, look, to know what to do now. Head away home for a few weeks. Put your feet up, and we'll give you a shout the week before the playoff
so
game.
rattled. So
And
funny.
see how things go. No, look, it's as Wayne always says. You take the first game of the weekend first, Friday night, and you see what you're left with then in terms of, who's fit, who's not fit, what bodies have you left, etc., etc. And you go from there. Kustovic needs minutes. Has to get minutes somewhere. So I do think we need
He's a
him back
necessity
in.
for the playoff.
Yeah, and most likely a right back. So that's no slight on Josh, but like, if you look at the 2 games against Pats, and we discussed this in the WhatsApp group a couple of days ago, if you look at the 2 games against Pats, the 1-0 game that they won in the league, and the opening goal in the cup semi-final, it's the same goal. It's Mark Doyle making an out-in run around Josh Onahan, and Josh not knowing where he is, and the first one's a header, the second one's with the foot, but the 2 goals are identical, and like, we need to be better than that, and especially when the first goal was scored like that in the league, you must be aware then that this is a tactic and this is a probability or a possibility in the cup game. And for him to get the exact same goal after 12 minutes in the cup game, I'm just going like, oh, come on. Like, so I think for me in the playoff and before the playoff, Kustovic comes back in at right back. But we need to get minutes in his legs.
Do you think he's been our best
Of course,
player
he
this
could also
season?
play in midfield as the ball winner as well if you wanted to. Do I think he's been our best player in midfield this season? Or is he our best player?
I just said in general.
Probably, like, he's missed a good few games now, to be fair. I think he's missed it. Like, he's a very, very good player. But I think Keaton is probably Keaton is the player of the year.
I think his work just goes
Who's second?
so underrated. It's between the two of them anyway.
Oh, Bolger.
Solid season. The stats, his average points per game stat that he starts are quite good.
Is that all
right
we're
up there at
basing
the
on
very
points per
top.
game? So
Well, it's a good a metric as anything else. There isn't many metrics you can use, to be fair. So that given insight, but I would concede they're not always fair either, because if you start, like, say, if you're a centre back and you've started a lot of games, how many games have we played? 32 now, is it? If you've started 30 to 32 games, then your your average points per game in games to start isn't going to be great. But look, it is what it is. So look, we can have a chat about it next week when I break them out, if you so wish.
no, you've already said I'm wrong, so there's absolutely no need. You can stick it on Twitter and tell the world.
I didn't say you were wrong. Didn't say you were wrong.
Listen again.
All I said was, in my opinion, you have to have a ball winner in the middle of the park. You have to.
Can you moneyball it for us and give statistically the best City team?
There we go.
I don't know, to be honest. I don't
Points
know.
per game.
Probably could to a degree, but it would be very narrow.
That's
To
what
be a
you're
very
saying.
narrow money ball.
Okay, moving on to Rovers. Do we actually give a shite if they win this cup down in Turner's Cross? I personally couldn't care. Wayne.
No, sure, if they do, fair play to them. I'd rather see Rovers win it than Pats or Bows, to be honest, or Derry. I know it's a big show. I know it is. It doesn't really bother me. It doesn't affect me. If Rovers win 6 in a row, it doesn't affect me whatsoever. So it doesn't, like, I always say they're a proper club. They have a proper grounds. They have proper shit going on. So if they win the league, fair play to them. It means nothing to me.
Decky.
Yeah, I tend to agree. It's not like we were in the race and we're going to finish third, and if they come in and win it on our ground, it's a kick in the bollocks, because if a couple of things went our way, we could have won it. Like, it's really, it's not something we've spoken about at all this year, given a second thought to. So yeah, look, a Dublin side coming down, winning the league in your ground, not ideal, but as I said, we're in a one-game season now. I don't think any City fans are really overly bothered by it, you know.
Do you think
And
they've
look,
been poor
if
champions?
If Rovers win it, they win it. Awful. I do. Awful. Like, I know it's that time of the season now where I start firing fellas left, right, and centre. Like, but if this was a Derry City podcast, I would be all over firing Rory Higgins. Like, Derry have been a disgrace this year for the money they've spent and everything else, and there was a very, very winnable league there for them, and they haven't done it. Like, I mean, I just had a quick look back at the 4. Obviously, Rovers have won 3, and they're going for 4 in a row. 2020, they won 83% of their games and took 89% of the points available. 21, they won 67% of the games and took 72% of the points available. 22, they did the same, 67 and 73%. This year, so far, they've won 53% of the games and they've only taken 64% of the points available. It's an awful return for champions. Like, in Derry, Like, Derry have only won 16 out of 33 games. They've lost, like, they haven't won half the games they've played. And they're still set, like, I mean, it's horrendous, like. They've only taken 58% of the available points. Like, it's horrific. If Derry had anything at all about them, they'd have won the league by 8 or 9 points. But they don't, and Rovers are going to win it. And, as I said, they may well win it in Cork on Friday night, or on Monday night, but to do so, they'll have to beat us, which they may not do. And they need St. Pat's to drop points against either Bohs or Sligo, which hopefully they won't do either. And then the question of do Rovers win it in Turner's Cross doesn't become relevant.
Any team we've played this year, have you just gone, wow, that was some performance out of them? Or has it all just kind of been, they were all right, like?
I think we're too busy concentrating on ourselves how bad we are. You can't gauge anyone against us. You can't really, like.
Pats beat us 4-0 in Richmond, wasn't it? And I thought Pats that night were as good as probably as anything we've played this year. I think that was probably the best performance I've seen against us this year. But as Wayne says, especially that time early in the season, I mean, Bohs beat us 5-0, and you could say, Bohs beat us 5-0. You kind of come away thinking we were so bad that day, and we went for it when we were 2-0 down. We could have made defensive substitutions and sat in and saw it out at 2-0, but we went for it, and with 10 men, and they got 5. But you never even left that game or thought about that game. Jesus, Bohs were really good, like. Whereas I think Pats, the 4-0 in Chicor was the only time I kind of thought, yeah, geez, they were decent. They were very good against us, like. So probably that game of them all.
Prediction time. Wayne, come to you first.
I think probably. I hate to say we're going to lose. Like, I think we draw 0-0.
Okay, Decky.
Yeah, like, to be brilliant if we took something off them to ensure they didn't win it, and RT cameras and everything else is there, and they're a blah 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 blah. Like, so I'll hope and pray we can get a 1-1 out of them, and maybe they finish with 8 men again or 9 men, and a few other bits and pieces go our way. We'll see what happens.
Perfect stuff. I'm going to go with 1-1. You may stop yawning now, Decky, because it's time.
Postman Pat, in black and white cat. The cat makes race.
We can go to the mailbag first.
Go early, did I?
Came too early, Decky.
Yeah. we're going for jacking off.
Jacking off, right?
Tony Daly writes,
early in the morning, a one bagger man is yawning, and pick up all of the postbag.
So
I have no idea why it starts the second play. Like, it's just doing it on its own. I don't know what's happening.
That's hilarious. Tony Daly, is it true that no one gives a f*** anymore, as we mentioned, or as we mentioned already?
Yes.
It is absolutely 100% true.
Nobody, and everyone at the club probably blames us for this, but yeah, no one cares anymore. Get season over, and we will rebuild and regroup again in February 2024.
Decky, I mean, you could just see you there. Are you about to burst our age or what?
No, I think it's for I think for the next 4 games nobody cares. People would care then the week building into the playoff, and then no matter what happens after the playoff, whether we go up or stay down, people are going to take 2 months off, and come Christmas time, then again the build up to next season.
When the new jersey doesn't come out and the season tickets haven't arrived.
It's
usually when this stuff gets back.
When will that be released? Do we have it? When is it usually released? Like late November?
We'd hope it's the start of December, and like I hope we haven't got these excuses again of the supplier this, supplier that. Like, I really hope we don't have to wait till after that, and I hope the season tickets arrive before Christmas too. Send them a week earlier this time, will you?
Sport Bachman better get their shit together. We don't have that music lined up, do we? That was one of the best ones.
Sport Bachman, I'm afraid.
Jesus,
Sing it, Dan.
I'm quite all right. Gareth the Boy Barry comes in with, how do we stop Shams winning the league at Turner's X?
Who cares?
Put Bolger in midfield anyway. I'd say. Who would your
Kustovic should be in defensive midfielder if he wants to play that. Anyway, but look, that's another day.
Who would your ideal candidates and stadium be for the playoffs? Waterford in...
I've flipped my opinion on this completely.
I don't know, Coleman's Park.
I'd go for Cove and Coleman's Park. I know I said last week that we shouldn't play them there, but I would prefer that. I think so. Why not? Train down, a few drinks on the promenade.
Yeah. Like Wexford and Cove now is set in stone as one semi-final. And it's Waterford then against... Who's still in it? Athlone, Bray, and Treaty can still get in there, I think, isn't it? Like, ideally, I really don't... Like, I have no problem playing Cove in it. I have no problem playing any of them in it, to be honest with you. So then it just becomes around the location. It can't happen in Cove, like, it's not big enough. So then the location probably becomes the RSC. So then it's either Wexford or Cove in the RSC.
I'm shitting it if we play Cove.
That's ideal, I think.
Do you think the fans go nuclear if we go down? Or do you think everyone's just going to go meh?
I think we're at the stage now where no one cares. It'll be meh. We're not that club.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
Who's going to give out? We go out in the forum, we go out in the podcast, and that was it. That's it. No one cares.
Yeah. But is there not an air of it's just like there's still a quiet confidence. I don't think people believe we're going down. I think that's the thing, you know? And maybe that's my fault. But I don't think people believe we're going down. So I think there's a quiet confidence. Whereas if on the night and the following week it hits and the realisation hits you that Wexford or Cove or Waterford or whoever it might be have beaten you in the playoff final and relegated you, I think it could get pretty hot and heavy and nasty, to be honest.
I think the disconnection between the fans and the club at this stage has gone too far, and I think I'm not sure it'll ever come back under this regime. That's my opinion on it. Oh, Dickie's yawning there again. Let's wrap it up.
Okay, Luke O'Mahony comes... he comes in with another one. Strongest 11 for Friday, or a bit of trial and error? Trial and error? No.
Whatever else.
I'm not in the trial and error camp anyway. I'm just like, figure out your best team and play them. Obviously, you have to mind Rory Keaton for obvious thing, and if there's anybody in danger of picking up yellow cards, I think Bolger's the only one, actually, ironically enough. I think he's on 13. If he gets to 15, he'll have a suspension. So, obviously, you got to manage that situation as well. Is there benefit in telling him pick up a yellow card against UCD on Friday night, pick up one against Shamrock Rovers the following Monday night, and miss the Derry game, and then you know you're absolutely clear. Everybody's clear going into playoffs. I think that's what I'd do at this stage, to be honest with you.
Pretty high chance he'd get one anyway.
Yeah, they have been floating around them alright of late.
But the current Cork City, like, you just feel like they wouldn't think like that. Just be like, that wouldn't even enter their mind. I think it would with Richie. I think you're right. I don't think we thought like that under Liam. But I think, Colin admitted to us as much one night on this pod when we asked him, and he started to laugh, and he's, what do you think, lads? He never answered the question. But he's like, what do you think, lads? Given very much the impression that, yes, we do think about those things, and yes, we would pick up deliberate yellow cards if the situation arose. And obviously, Richie would be I don't want to say Colin Healy disciple, but he'd be from the same school. So I think Richie would be tuned into that stuff, all right, to be fair. Okay. We're going to go jacking off very quickly.
Probably going to play it twice.
I've been jacking off, beating my meat. You left me stranded. What else can I do? 'Cause my wet dreams are just getting chilled.
Jesus Christ almighty.
I think we need an album, a Christmas album.
I've been jacking off, beating my meat.
Always
You
fight,
love me.
Oh, God.
Oh,
I know exactly what's happening. Do you know what's happening here now, Dan, right? He's pressing play, right? It gets to the end, and he just leaves it. And it starts again.
No. It's not getting to the end. I'm pressing pause. No, I'm pressing pause, and then for some reason it starts playing again. I have no idea why.
the Toe Tap Christmas album, what songs are we putting on it? Jacking Off, Sunshine Lollipops. Depeche, yeah, that was a good shout. Bit of Can't Help Falling in Love if you're going for old school.
Oh, yeah, you do the what was that Work Up 98 song?
Carnival de Paris.
Yeah,
That's
that one.
more
That's
of a beat. Right,
We should make a Toe Tap album
Postman
for
Pat.
charity.
Yeah.
The Jamaican remix.
Yes.
Sport
Maybe
Bachman has to go on.
The Soviet Union national anthem.
I love the North Korean one.
I
love the North Korean
I prefer
comedy
the
watch.
Soviet one. I always preferred the Soviet one when I was listening.
We should make a mixtape.
I don't know. And we could, yeah. I mean, it'd be pretty easy to do.
There'd be rights issues, but sure. Do you know what we're going to do? We're going to make a Spotify playlist for Toe Tap. That's what we'll do. All above board, all legal. I'm going to start that tonight.
Pre-game hype.
There you have it. Sorry, we're going back jacking off, so are we? 3-3 draw in Wexford last Sunday. We're 2-0 up, 3-1 up, and drew with 3-3. So, I don't know. Like, I know they play Wexford in the playoff. Would there be a little disappointment to throwing away the 2-goal lead? Does it matter? Probably not, to be fair. But Jack Doherty got his 18th goal of the season for Cove Ramblers. Wait.
Sorry.
They're all at it. No, that's not even me. Like, production's gone to the dogs. Since Shreen and bolted. Because I'm
Thank God it's in the season.
Doherty. Doherty got his 18th of the season, which is a record number of goals for Cove Ramblers in the League of Ireland season. So congratulations to Toe Tap sponsored Jack Doherty on a record-breaking season. Do you know what might have been?
Included in our sponsorship package was some sort. I was going to say meet and greet, but he has to come to an event or something. Can we go jacking off with the man himself?
You'll have to ask him nicely. Maybe he might come to Wayne's meet and greet in Cove because the date for that has been set. And because the playoff game in Wexford is actually it's a killer for us because it's the 24th, which is this night next week. So, you know, our plan to get Shane Keegan on before the playoffs has now gone out the window because they're actually playing this night next week. And then the return leg is in Cove on the 28th, Saturday the 28th.
Should we try and record down there before the
of
match?
October? You going to Wexford, yeah?
Oh, it's in Wexford.
Yeah. First leg. Oh, yeah, sorry. First leg's in Wexford. I was half thinking it, like, if the day went my way. I was half thinking, but then
we need to bring
have the prod,
Jack Doherty
like
Shane Keegan on the Toe Tap Christmas party. That's it now, right? So Shane Keegan and Jack Doherty,
Shane, if you're listening,
yeah, invited to the Toe Tap exclusive Christmas party.
The home leg. So the home leg. So is the 28th. This home leg is the 28th. So can we say that's the night that you're doing your meet and greet in Cove, and people can come with pictures of you and t-shirts and you sign them and
sign breasts. I'll sign whatever you want. Whatever you want to sign. That's fine.
Shake hands. Do a bit of jacking off.
Yeah.
Bit of commie watch. Maybe some Depeche Mode.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good night.
We should have our Toe Tap Christmas party in Cove.
In the clubhouse.
That would be a fantastic idea. Like
transport. Unless we stay in the Commodore afterwards.
Hire a minibus.
It's a long way from Mallow to Cove and own a minibus.
I'm sure Shane Keegan's on going that way now, home anyway.
All right, I think we'll wrap it up there, will we?
All right. I'll be the same.
A big thank you to our Patreons. Be sure to give us a retweet on Twitter and follow us on the Owl IG. Look, any residing thoughts there, either of the two of you.
No, just thank you, Dan.
And thank you, Wayne. Decky.
You're welcome.
I just want to thank everybody. Joe Brian Whitmarsh, Andrei Kravchuk, Ben Warman, everybody except Aaron Bolger, obviously, because, we won't thank him. And just a reminder to everybody, lots of this podcast and lots of our social media output is speculation. It's fans speculating on football. Same way people speculate about Eric Ten Hag's job or whether Virgil van Dijk is the greatest centre-back of all time. It's all speculation, It's just like...
He was until your man ruined it for his career. Allegedly.
Do you know the irony? The irony, you don't know this, no, obviously. And I didn't deliberately, I was just struggling to put stuff in my head, but it's actually 3 years ago today that happened. Today's the 3rd anniversary of Virgil van Dijk losing his leg in a horrific accident. So, thoughts and prayers with Virgil as we go forward. Hope someday he makes a full recovery. But until then, he's just bang average, isn't he?
All right.
Adios.
Where's your ciao? Oh, he mixed them up.
The Other Three Amigos podcast with Damien Shreenan, Wayne Mullins, and Declan McCormack. 3 lads, 1 podcast.